Hello, can you hear me? Hello. I hope you can see the screen. Hello,
Yes,
guys, can
Divya,
you hear
can
me?
hear you.
Yes. All right. So, yesterday we were discussing about distinct clause, right? And before that, we discussed about limit clause, and mainly we discussed about like operator. Is everything clear for you guys? Whatever we discussed till now. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. We are almost done with the clauses. We have a last class, that is a distinct clause, right? As I said yesterday, we will use distinct clause to display the unique values. Mostly, like almost 90 to 95 percentage of the times, what we will do whenever we are creating the table itself, we will declare primary key, correct? We will already create a primary keys for the table. Whenever we are creating the primary keys, it will allows only unique values, right? It won't allows duplicate values. That is the rule of primary key, correct?
Yeah, unique and not null.
Exactly, unique and not null. So suppose if for any table we didn't used primary key, and not only that unique column, for any other columns we will have multiple columns in table, right? So for any non primary key column, if we want to display the unique values, we will use the distinct clause. Okay, let's see the syntax of it. For example, first let me just activate the database. To activate the database, as you know, we will use command, use Maven movies, right? Our database got activated. Now we have a table called as payment, right? Let's first display the payment details table. Select star from payment. See, here by default, we know that for payment ID column, we used primary key, right? We can see like this also. If I just select the payment table from here, we can see here for payment ID column, we have the PK here. That means primary key, correct? Only for this column, we will mention the primary key. If suppose the non-primary key columns, that is with the not for the payment ID, for any other column, if we want to display the unique values, at that time we will use distinct clause. For example, there is staff ID, right? We have many duplicate data here, like we have many ones, multiple twos, like that, right? We have duplicate values in it. So first let's try to use the distinct clause for this staff ID. So using distinct is very simple. After writing select itself, we need to use the keyword called as distinct. Okay. After writing select, we need to use a distinct, and whatever column we want unique values, that column name we need to mention here. Suppose I want to display the unique staff IDs here. I will write staff ID like this. I will say select distinct staff ID from table name, right? Let's execute this. See, you can see here, we have only two staff IDs, 1 and 2. Here, what I'm doing, I'm not displaying the entire data. I didn't use asterisk here. I'm just saying I want to display the staff ID, but I want only unique values of the staff ID. That's the reason I gave distinct here. Is this clear for you? Let's see some more examples, but is that clear, the basic concept? Guys, I want response from everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
SDV.
Now, let's see one example. Fetch the unique customer ID from payment table itself. That means what I can do, I will use
Select distinct
this.
customer ID from payment.
Perfect. Only for whatever column we want the distinct, we need to write the distinct keyword, and after writing the keyword, we need to mention the column name. That's it. Customer ID. So it will show all the customer IDs uniquely. Okay. See, this is very simple actually. Most of the cases, as I said, for primary key values, we will have unique values only. For non-primary key columns, if we want to see the unique data, then only we will use distinct. I hope this is clear for you. And see, let me tell you one point. So far we have learned all some of the clauses, right? Let me write whatever clauses we have finished till now, right? First, we already discussed about select command. Now we discussed about distinct command. Next, from, where, order by, limit. See, whatever I wrote here, we discussed about all these things, right? From in the sense, just whenever we are writing any table name, we will use from. That is just a keyword, okay? But whatever I wrote here, you are familiar with all these things, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what we will do now, let's try to use all the clauses together in one query, okay? Let me give you the question first. Fetch the top 30 amount transactions per staff ID 1. So this is my question. I want you to answer this one. If it is just guess what we need to write here. If it is one wrong also, that is okay. So our requirement is we need to fetch the top 30 amount transactions for staff ID 1. And let me tell you, the table here is payment table only. Okay, we need to use payment table. So what I need to write here?
Select distinct staff ID 1. Yes.
Here distinct is not necessary. Okay, we are saying top 30 amount transactions, right? So I'll directly write it as select start
Start
from
from
payment,
payments
right? Select
where
start from payment. Yeah,
Where staff ID is equals
where
to
staff
1.
ID is equal to
perfect.
1.
Where a staff ID is equals to 1,
Order
Order
by
by
order by
amount
amount,
DESC limit 30.
perfect. DSC limit 30. That's it. This is how we will write a perfect SQL query. Okay, the what I want to you know convey you from this in the sense we need to follow this order only. For writing any SQL query, there will be one order. Okay, writing the SQL query order will be different, and executing query, the order of the execution of the query will be different. I'm currently I'm just talking about the writing of the SQL query. Okay, for any SQL query, first whenever we are fetching the data, obviously we will use the select, right? Next, if needed, we will use distinct in the question or the in the in our requirement. If it is needed, then only we will use distinct. Okay, obviously then it will come. Then we will use from, right? Next comes with the where clause. As we discussed, when we are discussing about order by clause, I said that we need to use first where clause, then only order by clause, right? So in this question, we are giving the condition that I want to fetch only staff ID 1 data. That's the reason we will use where clause here. Then as we want to sort the data, we will use order by. As it is, as I mentioned top in the question, we will sort the data in the descending order. And as we want to see only 30, top 30 records, we will use limit 30, right? Is this clear for you? This is a perfect SQL query, which whatever we discuss, like not about all the operators, but the main clauses, whatever main clauses we finished, if we use all of them together, we can frame like this. Okay, but the one thing is that we need to use the same order. Okay, after where only we need to use order by clause, and after order by only we need to use limit. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Now let me give you one more question here. Which second lowest amount from payment table? This one also I want you to answer. We discussed about this concept yesterday. Just try to you know try to apply whatever we learned yesterday, like how to find second lowest amount. See, we are using payment table here. I am talking about amount column. In that amount column, first I want to fetch the lowest data. Then obviously what we will use here, we will use order by clause. As I'm saying lowest, we won't use DESC. By default, if we don't use DESC, it will sort the data in the ascending order, right? But
Should be limit 1 comma 1, right? Or
perfect. This is what I wanted to hear. If we want to see the second, only if you want to see the second row, that means we need to use limit 1 comma 1. Whenever we are discussing about the limit clause yesterday, I said that not only for restricting the records, limit clause is also used to skip the records, right? Here, I said limit is also used to skip the records. Whatever we write, we need to write two parameters there. Whatever number we mentioned in the first parameter, that many rows it will skip, and whatever number we will write in the second parameter, that many records it will display, right? This is what we discussed yesterday. So for this question, how we can write? First, let me write the complete query. Select,
Start
I
from
can
payment.
say distinct here. I need to write distinct because I said only I want second lowest amount, right? Only one record. So I want unique value here. So select distinct from payment. Okay. Next, what I need to write? I need to write order by amount, right? I won't write DESC without writing anything. By default, it will sort it in ascending order only, right? Or else we can write ASC also, no problem. Without writing anything also, it will sort in the ascending order only. And next, here comes the main important point here. We need to write limit 1 comma 1. Whenever we give two parameters inside the limit, what it will do, whatever it is there in the first parameter, it will skip that many rows. That means in this question, what I am doing here, first I am sorting the amount column in ascending order, like ascending in the sense lowest to the highest, right? So I'm saying I want to skip the first record. Obviously, if the amount is like this, okay, 12, 13, 14, 16, 19, if my amount is like this, whenever we are sorting in the ascending order, obviously it will sort like this from the lowest to the highest. And I'm saying I want to skip the first record, like 1 comma 1, in the sense it will skip first record, and it will display the second record here. Whatever here we are mentioning only one in the second parameter as well. That means after skipping one record, it will display one record, right? That means it will display obviously second record only, second lowest amount, right? If I write 2 here, what will be my output? It will display 13 and 14, correct? That means it will skip the first row and it will display next two rows, right? Now tell me, if I want to see the third lowest amount, what how I can write third lowest amount? Not you, Shashavan.
Comma 1.
Just wait. Remaining persons.
Ma'am, 2 comma 1.
2 comma 1. Perfect. That means it will skip two rows and it will display the third row. Whenever I want to see the third lowest amount, we need to write 2 comma 1. Okay. The reason why I'm asking you not to say, in the sense, I understood that you got this concept, Shushavan. That's why I wanted the others also to answer the question.
No problem.
All right. So is this clear for you, everyone? Because I don't say like if you are trying as a fresher, you will not get this kind of questions. But if you are trying for, like if you have any 2 years of experience, or if you are planning to keep some experience, and then if you are trying for 2+ years of experience job, at that time you can directly, interviewers will ask like this only questions directly. They will ask you, some, they will, they won't ask you directly the concept. Instead of asking you to explain about the limit clause, they will give you such question. At that time you should be in a stage to understand what clause we need to use here and how to solve this query. Okay, clear? Still, if anyone has any doubts, you can ask me. Everyone clear?
As the way.
Okay, great. All right. So with this, our operators and clauses concept is finished. And of course, we are having few more clauses like group by clause and having clause. but we will discuss them whenever we are discussing joins. Okay, I'm just going with the flow. uh, if I discuss these concepts there only, you can able to relate with with the concept very perfectly. Okay, so forget about this, but for now we are done with this concept, operators and clauses. I hope this is clear for you.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, ma'am, distinct star is a valid command. Select distinct star.
If you, okay,
Want
you
to
want to
display
see,
the,
okay, I
yeah.
got it. You want to see, select distinct star from payment. It will work. It will
And
work.
ma'am,
It will
allow
display
where
all the.
staff
Mhm.
ID is equals to 1.
Okay, let me write it. Where staff ID is equals to 1.
Okay, okay.
Here we just wrote distinct, but we are not saying that we want to use distinct for the staff ID column, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we need to use like, we need to give individual column names like this, because in the asterisk staff ID will also include, right? So
Yes.
that's the reason it is throwing us error. We need to write like this. If we really want staff ID to be unique, we need to write distinct staff ID like this, and we need to mention other columns like this. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
then at this time what it will do, if you can see here, this staff ID is also repeating 1 1 1 2 2 1 1. It will what I can say, it will compare with the payment id and staff id. It will compare the all the columns and it will give the unique data. Okay,
Okay.
whenever we are dealing with joins and subqueries, we can come across with many examples like this. At that time you can see, or
I
else
understand.
or else
Just
what,
run that code 1 second.
sorry.
Just run that code 1 second. Control Z and run. Yeah. But here, ma'am, staff ID is repeating, right?
That's what I'm saying here. What, suppose if I didn't mention these columns, it won't repeat. If I mention these columns, it will compare staff id with the payment id and amount, and it displays unique data. Like for staff id 1, payment id 1, this is the amount. Staff id 1, payment id 2, this is the amount, like that. It
So
will
which
compare
one is
with the
unique here? Payment ID is unique, huh?
basically we are we are telling the SQL that I need staff id only unique, but it will compare along with the payment id.
Okay.
Okay, if suppose it is not giving like if here, if it gives here it is not giving one, right? 1 1 1 1, it is not giving, it is giving the unique values. It will compare these two rows and it will throw the, I mean, it will display the data uniquely.
Okay, so basically here the payment ID is showing the unique values, right?
Unique values per, correct.
Okay, okay, okay. Understood.
Okay, so this is about operators and clauses. I hope this is clear for you. Let's start a new concept today, and the concept is functions. Okay, so we are going to start functions today. We have many functions in SQL. if I want to write technical definition of function, I can say it as if user gives any input, calculations can be done by using functions. What we will do, we will give any inputs, or else whenever we give any inputs by using functions, the calculations will be done accordingly and it will give the output. Okay, let's see different types of functions here. We have numeric functions. Okay, we have character functions, date functions, and special functions. Okay, let's discuss each one of them detailing. First, let's talk about numeric functions. Okay, numeric functions in the sense I can say we have many functions like count, sum, minimum, maximum, average, and count, sum, minimum, maximum, our average, round, ceiling, floor, mod. So these are all the numeric functions which we will use very frequently. Okay, count, sum, minimum, maximum, average, round, ceiling, floor, and mod. Let's see each one of them. First is count. So count function, what it will do, whenever we use the count function, it returns the number of records. You know, whenever we are using any select command, and along with the select command, if we use count, it just returns the number of records written by a select query. Okay, let's see with the example, then you can understand. But the definition is count function returns the number of records returned by a select query. Let's see with some examples. So here, select start from payment. We have payment table, right? Let me first display the payment table. We have amount column here. Select. See, we have amount column here, right? Let me display the count of amount column. So what I will do directly after writing select, I will use the keyword count. And whenever we are using the functions, definitely we need to remember after writing the function name, we need to give the brackets like this. Then only if we write like this, it is not considered as a function. If we write like this only, it will SQL will understand that you are you wrote a function. Okay, we need to definitely write the parenthesis here, open and closed parenthesis, after writing any function. Okay, so if we want inside the parenthesis, we can give something like whatever we want to find, that one. Here I want to find the count of amount. Once you see the output, you can understand. So I'm saying that select count of amount from payment. Previously, I just directly displayed the normal payment table. Here I have one column called as amount, and you can see I have many amounts here. Let me see count of amount. See, it is displaying directly a value. That means how many rows are there in the count column, that many rows count it will display. Like if you have 10 rows, it will just display as 10, like that. It will display the count of the, see, it returns the number of records. How many number of records are there in the particular table, that many, that is the count of that value. Okay. But here if you observe, in the column name it is displaying as count of amount, right? So instead of that, we can give any alias name here. Alias name in the sense, instead of count of amount, I want to display something else. So to give any alias amount, we will use as keyword. Here I will see CNT from payment. That means instead of count of amount, I want to display CNT as my column name. That means this is my column name, but I am giving an alias name as CNT. Alias name in the sense something like other name, right? If we want to give some other names to the existing column names, we will call it as alias names. And whenever we are giving alias names, we will use as keyword. Okay, let's see the output. Here you can observe count of amount is there as a column name. Whenever I execute this, you can see CNT is here. We can write anything here. We can write directly count also. Whatever we write after giving the as keyword, that name will return as a column name. Okay, basically what count will do, it counts the number of records in that table and it will just display the number of records. That's it. Okay, and here you can get one doubt that whenever we are talking about payment table, we are having so many columns, right? We are having this many columns. So if suppose if I have 10 rows in that table, we have amount column also, we have 10 value, 10, the count will be 10 only, and for customer ID also the count will be 10 only, right? Because for every column we will have same day, same number of records. Correct? Did you got my point? I have this many columns here. Suppose just imagine we have 10 rows here. If I mention select count of amount from table, I mean from payment name, it will display 10 only, right? Suppose if I have 10 records here, it will display the value as 10. And instead of amount, if I write select count of customer ID from payment also, it will display 10 only, right? Because we will have that many records only for each and every column, correct? Going forward, if you see for how many columns we can see here, we will have for every column that many records only we will have, right guys?
SDV.
So here directly what we can do, we can simply write it as select count star. Star in the sense, it will talk about all of the columns, right? Select from the payment table. Instead of writing amount, whatever, if we want to find either amount, either if you want to find the count of the amount, or if you want to find the count of the staff ID, if you want to find the count of customer ID, whatever it is, whatever the column may be, whenever you want to find the count, whenever you want to find the count function, you can directly write it as count star from payment. Then it will display the output will be the same. When if we use this one also, the output will be same, this one also the output will be same. Let's see. One second. Count star from payment. What happened? Sorry, I gave gap. We are not supposed to give the gap here. After writing count, I just given the space. That's the reason it thrown me error. So if you see this, here I used count star. My output is 16,049. If I execute count of amount also, my output will be 16,049. Because for every column, whatever the column is, but in any table, we will have that many records only, same records, same rows, right? So whenever we are writing the count whenever we are using count function, directly we can use as count star. Okay, that is we can use asterisk directly, then it will give the same result. Clear?
Divya, sometimes all columns having some null values also, right? So
Null
does
values
null
also
values
no
also
problem. It
include?
will, yes, yes. It count, basically it will count null values also. Basically what it will do, it will count the number of records. That is what I mentioned in the definition. It will just count the number of records. That means records in the sense rows. If it has with it is irrespective of whether it is having any number, any character, whether it is having null values also, duplicate values, whatever it is, what is inside the row, it is none of it is none of the business of count. It will just count the rows. If you have null values also, it will count.
Yeah, fine.
Basically, it will give the number of rows. I
Just the
mean the
count
total
of
number
the
of
rows,
rows, right?
total number of rows, that's it. If for example, if you see in employees table here, we can able to see only 2000 rows for now. So let's see in another database. Let's see Durgasoft database. I'm activating Durgasoft database, and in this tables we have employees 2, right? Let me display first employees 2 data. Select star from employees 2, right? Here we are having 3 rows, correct? 1, 2, and 3. Maybe the data is 1, 2, 4 we have as employee ID, but the records are 3, correct? So if I write select count star from employees 2, it will just display the answer as 3, right? Because we have 3 rows there, correct? We have only 3 rows, 1, 2, and 3. In the last line we will have all the nulls, but that is different. If we define the primary key, it will show the nulls. This is not the record actually, right? Whatever data we inserted only 1, 2, and 4 employee ID is our data, correct?
Ma'am, I have a question. If I write select count of e name from employees to,
It
it
will
will provide
also give
3
the,
over here. Yeah.
yes, same
But
same
if I
output.
have, yeah, but the question is if I have like uh in five, for example, employee ID 5, there is no employee name, it is null. But for employee ID 6, I have one more employee name. So how it would calculate?
It will just calculate the row only. You are saying like here after 3 I'm having employee ID 5, employee name is null, right?
Yeah.
I have some data in all these remaining columns, like that you are saying,
Yeah,
right?
then I have employee ID 6,
We
but I
have
have e
employee ID
name.
6 and we have some name here. We have all the data in employee ID 6, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
At that time also it will just give us like the answer will be 5. It will just count the row only. This, like here you can see this empty, all this is one row, two row, three rows, irrespective of the data, whether you entered any data inside it or whether you left it blank, whether you wrote duplicate values, irrespective of what you write inside the inside the record, it doesn't matter, it will just count the records.
Okay, so here it is 3. So if I have null value like EMP ID 5, ename null, then EMP
Hmm.
ID 6, ename something, then it will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With null
Correct.
also it will calculate it,
It
right?
will calculate. If you want, we can
Okay,
insert and we can check also.
okay, okay,
Do you want
understood.
me to do, or else in your free time you can also do it. Just what
Yeah, yeah,
what you
sure,
do
fine, no
in
issues. Sir.
employees to table, try to insert two more rows, and one row just leave the employee name as don't give anything uh, without giving any employee name. Just directly just at that time what you need to do, whenever you are giving the like inside the data, you need to give like 5. You need to give comma, again comma. At that time it will take as null. Here you need to mention some dates like this. Okay, but definitely we need to mention like this, comma and comma, so it will take it as a null value. Did you understand? comma 25,000, comma we have some bonus. Like this we need to enter. Like this is our employee ID, this is for date of joining, salary and bonus. But here I mentioned two commas here, I didn't give any data. It will take as null. Okay, if we don't give anything also no problem. If we write like this also it will take null only. Just try to try this query and try to see the count function. It will give the values as, you know, it will count it this one also. If you write count of ename also it will count this null value also, because it won't count particularly that column, it will just count the records. If suppose if I talk about the excel file, we will have all the records, right? So irrespective if we enter the data also, if we don't enter the data also, it will just count the lines like that. Okay, am I clear? So let me write some points here, actually it will make you and more understandable. Count function, what it will do, count function counts the number of records. Okay, it just count the number of records and return values. Here the number of records will remain same. The number of records will remain same whether we count using column name or asterisk. Whether we use any column name or whether we use asterisk also, the number of records will remain same. Okay, and the most important point to understand here is count count function ignores null values. It won't mind if the data has null values also, it will just ignore the null values. It will count the null values, I mean it will just count. Don't think like, see, if, sorry, see if this is the table, it won't count the data inside it, it will just count the records only. Like this will be just imagine like it will count the box only. This is a first box, second box, third box, like that it will count. Okay, am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Basically in which scenarios we will use count function, in the sense whenever we want to analyze like any particular data. For example, if I talk about any sales kind of database, if we want to know how many customers are there, uh, like if we want to analyze the gender data, how many males are there, suppose let's talk about Netflix, how many males are there in our users and how many females are there in our users. To find that particular analysis like gender wise data, we can use count. We can directly write the count function for the gender column, and in where clause we need to mention that where gender is equals to male, right? If we write like that, it will show the exact count of males and females separately. Like that, whenever we want to analyze such kind of data, we will use count. And don't worry, all these functions which we are discussing here, in real time we won't use functions separately. We will use functions along with the joins whenever we are dealing with joins. In each and every question whatever we practice, at that time we need to use any of these joins, sorry, any of these functions. Okay, that time you can easily understandable. Okay, basically in real time also along with joins only we will use functions. That is the reason first we will explain functions, then only we will go to the joins concept. So I hope count function is clear for you.
But ma'am, you are here writing like count function ignores null values, but it
Yeah,
calculates the null values,
yeah,
right?
ignores in the sense I want to say whether it is having null value or not having null value is also the same.
Okay, okay.
Ignores in the sense okay, do you want me to write it considers null values?
No, understood. I mean, understood. If there
Ignore in
is
the
null
sense if
also, it
there
will
is null
calculate.
also it will calculate, if there is no null also it will calculate.
Yeah, yeah,
It
understood.
doesn't matter whether it is having null or not. Okay,
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
yeah, that's fine. All right, now let's see about the next function. Next we have some minimum maximum. First, let's see about the minimum function here. We all know why we will use minimum function. Min is a function, right? It will display the minimum value, correct? The least value, minimum value. Let's see with the same example. Select minimum of amount from payment table. Oh, I need to activate Maven movies, right? Currently we are in Durgasoft database. I'm activated Maven movies and let me execute the statement. See, minimum value is the 0. If I first let me display I will show you this in any other data actually, but first let me display the amount from payment. Okay, see, basically this is my amount and I have 0.99. That means this is the least value here, right? Or else I can say select amount from payment.
Select spelling is wrong.
Oh yeah, order by amount. See, if I am saying order by amount, it will sort in the ascending order. That means first I have 0. If I'm scrolling it down, I'm having 0.99 like that, right? So my first least value is 0.00. That is what? What is the least value in that column? That will display if we use the minimum. That is 0.00. Let's see with any other data, not amount. So we have actor ID, customer. Let's see for length in the film table. Okay. Select minimum of length from a film table, right? First, let me display the select length from payment table. Sorry, from film table. I'm just displaying the length column from film table. This is my length column. I have so much of data here. I don't know what is the least value. Maybe 48. Let's see. I'm writing now select minimum of length from film. 46 is the least value. Like that. Whatever in the complete data, it will select the least value. Clear, right? Guys, please respond.
Yeah, SDV, go ahead.
because if you don't give any response, I also lose interest of explaining everything. So please, let's keep the session interactive. Next we have max. Max is exactly opposite. It displays the maximum value, right? Instead of min, we need to use max. That's it. Max of length from film. It will display as the highest value. If we want to check whether 185 is the highest or not, what we can do, we can sort the data, right? We can directly write it as a select star from film order by length DAC. DAC means it will sort in the descending order from the highest to the lowest. Let's see this data. See, we are sorting on the length column. Highest data is 185 only, right? Going forward, our data will be decreased 180, 184, 182 like that. So highest value is 185 only. Whenever we are using max of the length, it is displaying 185 only, right? It will basically display whenever we are using max, it will display the highest value. Whenever we are using min, it will display the lowest value. And here again, you can see in the column name, we can see like max of length. If we want to give any other name instead of that, we need to use alias like maximum. I can give like this. Then it is displaying, it is taking the column name as maximum. This is basically called as alias name. Okay. Am I clear?
Yeah,
Yes,
SDV.
I'm clear.
All right. So we are done with max, min, and count, right? Next, let's see about sum. Basically, whenever we are discussing this, all these functions, it is very simple. It looks like very simple, and of course, it is simple only. But as I said, we don't use individually these functions. We will use along with the joins. Okay. Basically all the clauses, whenever we are using joins, we can see all these clauses repeating. We will include, we will use functions, we will use where clause, order by clause, group by clause, having clause, limit, and joins together. That is a perfect SQL query. Okay. So next function is a sum. Basically what sum will do, it is we use it to find the total amount. Okay. Let me just write one query. Select sum of amount from payment. It will just add everything and it will just display. See, this is our total amount. Simply what it will do, it will add everything. If we talk about, let's see our employees table again. Where is that? I'm activating Durgasoft database again. So I'm displaying employees to table. In this we are having some salary, right? So let me use select sum of salary from employees to. Okay. See, it is just adding up all the values. We are having 3 rows, right? All the summary, all the salaries, it is just adding up and it is displaying. Whenever we want to find any sum value, we will use this sum. And whatever we learned so far, all those functions we can use collectively also. That means all together also we can use. Like select, I can just write it as, for example, sum of amount, right? Comma. Next, I can write it as count of amount, comma, min of amount, comma, max of amount. All together also we can use in one single SQL statement. From what is this payment table? First we need to activate Maven modules, right? Okay. You can see here it is displaying all of the data. This is sum of the amount, count of amount, minimum amount, and maximum amount. So is this clear?
Ma'am,
Yes.
one question.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, let's suppose we are calculating the sum, like select some amount from employees too. Okay, so
Yeah.
uh, like we are passing only one parameter as only one column, so we can use it like some distinct comma amount, or only one parameter can be passed amount for one column.
Uh, like only one column, because if you want to see the collective data, if you want to see total only, we will use these functions, right? I cannot write it as sum of salary comma employee name. How it will
Yes.
give? It cannot give like that. For each and every employee, we cannot give the sum of salary, right? So it will give only that value, that particular value.
Okay,
Whenever we
ma'am.
want to see that amount, we will use like that, collective amount. For that particular function, we will get only, we won't use many column names here.
Yes, some that I understand. And one more thing, like distinct comma amount is possible or not possible?
Distinct comma sum of amount.
Okay, distinct comma sum of amount. Okay,
I mean,
distinct.
do you want to
Yeah.
see, do you want to use distinct and sum together?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Let's
Can
see.
you?
Though we use also, we will get the same result. It won't throw error, it will use the distinct also, but almost the amount will be same, because we have almost unique values only in salaries, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it won't apply actually. If you have same values also, I don't think it will affect. It will count all the rows data it will count, and it will just display the data.
Okay.
Okay. So next we have average. Frankly speaking, this functions concept is a little bit bore, we but this is again important topic, because we will use the functions along with the joins. Okay, so try to listen. Next command is average. Again, it will just returns the average values. Okay. Select average of amount. Whenever we are using functions, we need to use the alias name, and we can give any name. That is the perfect way of writing any SQL query. We are suggest you to use the average name. Okay. I suggest you to use the alias name. See, this is the average value. Simply it will, whatever functions we are doing, we know the maths, right? It will just display, either if we use sum, it will display the total value. It will, if we use average, it will display the average value, like that. Okay. And next, let me give you one question here fetch give me the count of unique staff ID. How to write this? I'm asking you to use the count function, but again here I'm asking I want unique unique staff ID. At this time, obviously we will use count along with the distinct, right? I will write it as select count. What I want here, I want staff ID, right? So instead of writing staff ID inside the brackets only, I will write distinct. I will mention staff ID from which table? Payment only, no? Staff ID. Payment table. Okay.
Yes, sir.
One second. Distinct staff ID. Okay. We should not give the every time I'll do the same mistake. We are not supposed to give the space here. See, it is giving we have only two because we know that we have staff IDs 1 and 2, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have staff IDs 1 and staff IDs 2. If we count, we have only two values. We are giving count here, right? Suppose without using count, if I write select distinct staff ID from payment, then it will display be 1 and 2. 1 2, we have only two staff IDs in this table, that is 1 and 2. If we count how many rows are there, only 2 rows, right? That's the reason when we are using count of distinct staff ID, it is returning 2 only. Okay, I hope it is clear for you.
Yes,
If there
madam.
is any confusion also, just go through the video and just try to practice once, you can get this. Actually this is very simple. And now let me give you another question. Fetch the total payment collected by staff ID 1. Now tell me, total payment in the sense, to find total what we need to use?
Sum.
Perfect, sum. Select sum
Staff
of
ID.
amount, right? I'm saying about the amount, total amount collected by staff ID 1 from payment. That means simply we will use where clause here because we are giving some condition. I want to see only for staff ID 1 what is the total amount, right?
Yes.
This is the total amount for staff ID is equals to 1, like that. In this cases we will use this commands, like whenever we want to find I can say group wise total amounts, like if I can say what is the profits we got in the gender wise, like how much profits we got from our male users, how much profits we have got from our female users. At that time we can just sum it up, and in the where clause we will use that gender name, right? Like that. Next we have another function called as seal. Did I wrote it? Is it? Actually we are done with the time. Let me end the session for now. Tomorrow let's continue. Let's see the remaining functions. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
and I will upload this operators and clauses part 2 file today, and after we are done with the numeric functions I will upload this file. Okay, all right.
Yeah, okay, then. Bye.
Yeah, all right then.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.